Ever tried ordering a pool chlorine system that looked perfect on the website, only to find it barely kept the water clear on the first weekend? I've been there spending a good chunk of my budget on a plug-and-play kit, only to spend the next week wrestling with confusing controls, constant error codes, and a chlorine level that never seemed right. That hesitation is why I'm breaking down the Pentair 523744EC IntelliChlor LT15 salt cell and power pack today, so you can decide if it's the upgrade your pool actually needs or just another pricey disappointment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the core problem most pool owners face: a generator that either underchlorinates when the pump is idle or overchlorinates when you're swimming. The LT15 tries to solve that with Pentair's SmartSense technology, which claims to automatically dial back chlorine output when the pump isn't running. In real-world terms, that means you shouldn't be seeing a green, cloudy pool at night just because the system kept pumping chlorine while the water was still. For anyone who's ever had to dump a bucket of chlorine after a night of low usage, that sounds like a win. The unit is marketed as a drop-in replacement for the older EC520888 IntelliChlor IC15. If you already have a Pentair power center and the associated automation, the swap is literally a matter of unplugging the old cell and plugging the new one in. That modular design is a practical strength. You don't need to rip out wiring or reprogram your whole automation hub. For a homeowner who already trusts Pentair's ecosystem, the LT15 fits in like a puzzle piece. It also comes with an LCD/LED interface that shows current chlorine output, voltage, and error diagnostics. In my experience, those readouts are more helpful than a blinking red light because you can actually see if the system is throttling back as promised, or if it's stuck on a high setting. Now, let's be honest about the trade-offs. The LT15 is sized for a 15,000-gallon pool, which puts it in the middle range of residential systems. If your pool is considerably larger, say 20,000 gallons or more, you'll likely feel the chlorine output lag behind demand, especially on hot summer days when the water temperature climbs and algae loves to thrive. Conversely, a small 8,000-gallon spa will waste a lot of salt and electricity because the cell will be running at a capacity it never needs. That's why the one-size-fits-all promise can bite you if you don't match the cell rating to your actual water volume. Who should buy this? First, existing Pentair users who have the IntelliChlor Power Center already installed. If you're already in that ecosystem, the LT15 is a low-friction upgrade that avoids the headache of buying a brand new controller or dealing with compatibility issues. It's also a solid pick for pool owners who run their pumps on a timer and want a generator that respects those off hours. The SmartSense adjustment is most noticeable when you run the pump for just a couple of hours a day. Your chlorine levels stay stable without you having to manually tweak the output. Who should skip it? Anyone who is still on a basic salt chlorine system without the Pentair Power Center will need to buy additional hardware to make the LT15 work, which quickly erodes any cost savings. Also, if you're looking for a set-it-and-forget-it solution for a very large pool, you'll probably need a higher capacity cell or a dual cell setup, which this model doesn't support. Finally, renters or seasonal pool owners who only fill the pool a few months a year may find the upfront cost hard to justify when a simpler, lower-priced generator could do the job for the short season. A practical strength that often gets lost in spec sheets is the diagnostic feedback. When a sensor trips or a cell starts to degrade, the LCD flashes a specific code rather than just a generic error. I've seen that save a weekend of guesswork. Rather than calling a technician and describing a vague red light, you can note the code, look it up in the manual, and know whether it's a sensor cable or a cell voltage issue. That transparency can shave hours off troubleshooting, which is a real value add for busy homeowners. On the flip side, the LT15's smart algorithm isn't completely foolproof. In a few cases, the system has been reported to keep the chlorine output high even after the pump shuts off, especially if the water temperature sensor is slightly off. The result? You might end up with a higher salt concentration than you intended, leading to a mild metallic taste in the water. The LCD will show the output level, But you still need to be vigilant and occasionally check a chlorine test kit to confirm the system is behaving as advertised. It's a minor inconvenience, but it means the system isn't truly hands-free for the forgetful pool owner. Installation time is another realistic consideration. Because the cell is modular, the physical swap can be done in under an hour if